My name is Susan Njoroge, aka Sorakam. And currently, what I do for work, I'm both on TV and radio here at Standard Group, my wonderful family. On TV, I'm on a show called Man Talk. So it's a morning talk show where men come and we discuss men's issues, look at it from the man's perspective. So that airs on Wednesday mornings here on KTN Home. And then I have my afternoon show on radio called Adrenaline. It's a drive show on Vibes Radio, 3 p.m. 7 p.m. And me and my co-host essentially just have fun on air. A lot of dope reggae, a lot of really dope dancehall, of course. As a Vibes Radio brand, you know, that's what we're all about. But that's mostly what I do. From the very beginning, I mean, I think everyone's career journey starts in school. So I studied economics, very different from what I'm doing now. I got a Bachelor of Science in Economics in the UK. And then when I came back home, I just knew that I didn't want to work in a bank. I didn't want to work in policy. I wasn't interested in using my degree, essentially. But I found an opportunity in public relations. So it was really cool because I was able to use my economics degree along with my other interests, which were actually in media. So PR was the perfect mix of the two. So I worked in agency. I don't know if you guys know what PR agencies are. They're a hardcore place to work, but you learn a lot. So working on press releases, working with journalists, I learned a lot from the people I was working with. And it was amazing because it's what led me into media, because I used to work with journalists all the time. So I decided to take the plunge and leave agency and start auditioning to join media around 2-3 years ago. I'd probably say I was lucky because I did auditions for about a year before I got a job. A lot of people do auditions for so much longer. Then, yeah, I auditioned here at Standard Group and I got a job at KTN Home working with KTN Life and Style. That was July 2019. Yeah, but I had come for an audition here at KTN Home exactly a year before for the same role. I didn't get it. So I guess everything happens at the right time. I don't know whether it's me who messed up, which was the person that invited me, but when I was auditioning, I came, I was wearing, you guys know that I love jumpsuits. We do all the jumpsuits on Man Talk, that's what I wear. So I had on a really cute blue jumpsuit. I knew that I was coming for a lifestyle talk show style audition. And then I got here and then I was given a Kiswahili script for news. I said, this has been a mistake. They gave me the English news script though, which was great. So I read for news, which was not the plan and was not what I was supposed to audition for. And I was super worried because also everyone I was with was dressed properly, formally. They were in suits. You know, they looked like trustworthy news readers. I just looked like a really free girl who's lost, who didn't know where she was meant to be or what she was supposed to be doing. But luckily, what I did, and here's another trick for everybody, I did the audition anyway with the script that I was given. Then I went and talked to Kennedy, shout out to Kennedy here at KTN. And I told him, I think I've auditioned for the wrong thing, eh? And I told him exactly what I wanted. And then luckily he called me in for another session, connected me to somebody at KTN Home. Now the KTN Home audition was even more interesting. Shout out to Mikali, she used to host Feel Good Friday. She was the host at the time. I came to join her on a live show. And then Mikali had a wardrobe malfunction. So I started a live show by myself. And she tried to figure out what was going on with her clothes. Baptism by fire, I think is what I'd call it. But I must have done okay because I got the job and I'm here. So yay, fingers crossed. Just be ready. If you ever come for a job or something, don't be surprised if your audition for the job is executing the actual task. But I'm happy that it worked out that way. I would probably say that the biggest thing I would use out of my degree is probably going into business. I have a little business that I've started. It's called Sip Trip, and we deliver drinks all over Nairobi to your houses, especially with quarantine. Restaurants have been closed, so hit us up. It's Sip Trip KE on socials, and the number is 0728333985. 0728333985. If you know it as the Jiweketava number, you're correct. That is the same number. So probably go more into business. If I was to take media, the business angle, it would be amazing to own a broadcasting company or PR company when I'm a big girl. Had really amazing experiences as a host. I interviewed Sean Paul. It was last week, I think, on Friday. The interview's up on YouTube. Check out the Vibes Radio page. That was a big one for me. I think huge. His music, even just the introduction to the club scene, dancehall music, like it was all Sean Paul from when I was in high school up until when I was an adult, and he's still making amazing music now. He's a Grammy winner. Like, it was just incredible to have that opportunity. I'd probably say also, I really like it when I get to interact with other people that I really admire in my field. So that's always really cool as a host. Sometimes you get paired with another co-host that you really admire, somebody you wouldn't have thought you'd work with. That's usually some of my favorite moments. But yeah, Sean Paul is a pretty big highlight right now. A day in the life of Sura Common. It's not that interesting. I have an afternoon show, so I try to make my mornings as chill as possible, and that's when I get a lot done. Whether it's talking to my producers on picking topics, we'll probably do a lot of that over the morning, deciding on guests, calling guests, all other errands I have to run, spending time with my family and my boyfriend. That's like a morning thing. And then in the afternoon, 3 p.m. to 7 p.m., I'm here at Vibes Radio. So radio takes a lot of energy, somebody wouldn't think, but usually after that 4-hour show, you don't really want to do anything. Right now there's curfew, so I really just go home afterwards. So that's a day in the life of Susan. Over the weekend, spend a lot of time with family. I want to say that I also want to see my friends a lot, but I feel like since COVID started, I've been seeing my friends less and less and less. But yeah, definitely family. I want to travel more once we're outside this one zone area. Travel is a big thing for me. Some of my happiest moments in life have probably been when I've traveled. So if I was to talk to 10-year-old me today, I would tell her to relax. I feel like when you're young, you're so eager to grow up, and it's so not necessary. I would tell her to stay in school for as long as humanly possible, especially after a bachelor's degree in university, okay? If you can do a master's, get a PhD, like just, because once you're outside of school, like I was saying earlier, it's just the ghetto. Being an adult is hard. It's hard, and children should know you shouldn't be so eager to grow up. It's not that much fun. But I would also tell her to not give herself so much pressure, like I said, like, everything will be okay, it'll be all right. And lastly, I'd probably tell her to spend a lot more time with her dad, my dad, yeah. So probably people don't know that I'm a homebody. People probably do know that I'm a family person. They see my family on my stories every now and again, but I'm big on family. Like, my whole world stops if there's something wrong with my family. I think that's the best way to put it. Something else that people don't, I love makeup. I'm a huge enthusiast of makeup. I'm always telling people when I've done my own makeup because I'm so proud of myself. Like today, I did my own makeup. What else would people not know about me? Traveling, I love traveling. Probably because I've not seen it a lot on my page of late, but I miss it a lot and I'm looking for more opportunities. This week on Man Talk, we are discussing depression.
But being a man that I was, I kept it to myself.
Hakuna mtu anauliza how is Steve-O doing, how are you handling it? Kwa sababu ile stage mimi nilikuwa, hata ningekuwa millionaire, hiyo chapa ingenisaidia.
We're also going to be looking at the very high suicide rates going on amongst men.
Kuna mtu alikuwa shaiona lakini labda anangojea use.
My parents are a very big inspiration for me. They just showed me so much as we were growing up. Both of them are professionals. I went into business, self-taught. Both of them, came from either village where either one of them was raised, not necessarily very amazing beginnings, humble beginnings. And they just have such vigor and drive. And I also like that they don't show that you should not have fun in life. Like you work so hard and then you just die. There's nothing to be enjoyed. They've always showed us that life is to be lived and enjoyed and spent, with family and friends. My parents always used to make sure we visited all their siblings, their friends would always go together, they'd take us as their kids. So they're a huge inspiration for me of just showing that balance of life, like it's possible. You can hustle hard, but you can also live a full life and not limit yourself from things. Well, obviously, I schooled here. I schooled in Nairobi, born and raised here in the 254. Schooled in Nairobi. I went to Braeside Primary School. That was from year 2 up until year 9. And then I moved to Peponi from year 10. So I did the British system school. I started off in 844 when I was younger. I did pre-unit, class 1, and then my parents moved me when I was going to class 2. So yeah, then after Peponi A-levels, I went and did my undergrad in the UK, and that was the economics degree I got. I got it at Royal Holloway, University of London. I had an amazing university experience, let me not lie. It was incredible. Shout out to my parents. You guys worked so hard so I could be able to go to the UK. And I have friends for life, friends from all over the world, which is amazing. Obviously, the education, my lecturers were incredible. And just that space, the exposure. When I was in the UK, I was there for 3 years. I could travel a lot to other European countries. It's much more affordable to travel within Europe than it is to travel within Africa, by the way, if you didn't know. If you want to go from London to Barcelona or something, it's so much cheaper than if you're trying to travel from Nairobi to Kampala. Where do I see myself in the next 5 years? I'm gonna say what no one says. I wish I'm very rich and I don't have to work at all, but I know that's not gonna be the case. In my goal plan in 5 years, I'll be just over 30. So I would just want to be comfortable, especially financially when it comes to bills. Let me not be stressed about water, elec, bundles, all the small nitty-gritties, fuel, at least for coming to work and all of that. That's a big goal for me in 5 years' time. I think also in 5 years' time, I would really, I don't know how to phrase this right, but I'd want to create a media product that no one can touch. People know that this was Sarah Cohen, started by Sarah Cohen. She's the one that, kind of created a media machine movement. I'm hoping that I'm not putting any pressure on myself by saying that, but I think that would be a big one for me because most media personalities that I know and admire, you know them from something. If it's David Letterman, if it's Oprah, if it's Ellen, here in Kenya, if it's Caroline Mutuko, if it's, Kina Maina Kageni, you know them, Kina Jalan. You know them for a particular show or a particular hashtag or style. So in 5 years, I would want to have established that by then. I appreciate people who send messages and want to ask questions about what I do. Thank you so much. Is that it's not as easy as it looks. It's a job where you have to be switched on a lot of the time. On TV and on radio, if you've had a bad day, you're having a personal tragedy, you're having nobody really has time for that. In other jobs where you can emotionally be in a bad place, but you'll still be able to execute your job. For us guys in media, especially if you're in front of the camera, you can't have that space. I can't bring my moody self to radio every single day. That's not how it works. So I'd say just make sure that you're mentally in a place where if you do get this job and you do get this opportunity, you're ready. You're ready for that pressure and you're ready to know that it doesn't matter how you're feeling, how your day is. you have to execute, and a lot of that execution comes from your personality. Other advice I'd have is don't give up, just keep trying. Like I said, I auditioned for a whole year. I think it was a year and like 2 months. I went for auditions everywhere. Let me not say all the media houses, obviously, because we're here at KTN Home, but literally any media house you can think of, especially those that are located here in Nairobi, I auditioned with them. And I got no's, but a year is short for me. I was lucky. A lot of people audition for a lot longer. So just be patient. Don't like ignore other hustles. I had a job, I had a different job up until I started here at KTN Home. So yeah, don't give up, but have patience. When it first started, it was really difficult. We were doing our show virtually. We had never had to work from home. It was so hard for us as hosts, for our producers, even trying to figure out how to do things and they're not with their hosts and they're from home. That time was hard. It was difficult to be able to still churn out work. I felt like I had no inspiration. You're not leaving the house, so you don't even know what to talk about or discuss. So that was a big one for me. It affected me with work. It took a while to be able to come back. Mental health wise and with social pressure, like, dude, our phones, they are the best and the worst thing, I think. For me, my advice would be take a break. A lot of the pressure I got during this COVID period came from social media. Just Instagram, just scrolling, seeing how everybody is taking quarantine time to, start a new hobby and they look like they're doing so well. Others are being able to shop and they have all these new dresses and new wigs and new nails. And I'm like, how are you doing this? I don't understand. Worse off, those are able to go on holiday. They're still going on holiday now. I have some of my friends. I'm like, how are you doing this? So there's a lot of pressure that comes from what you see online. And I would just say, take a break from it when you can, please do. It's harder for us to use social media for work, but when I can just step away, I really do. A lot of my pressure comes from that. And then also just talk to the people you're with. We're stuck at home, but we're stuck at home with our families. This is the time to open up and just talk to them and be honest about it. And take time away also. Just because you're stuck in the house doesn't mean you don't need time away from your mom or you don't need time away from your spouse. You need to be in another room, do another activity, go for a walk, yeah. But for me, share with those people that you're stuck with because they're going through the exact same thing. So they'll be the best people to open up to. And for me, that was a huge, huge help. We're definitely much closer as a family since COVID started. So my advice to the youth due to lack of jobs, even housing, so many people have lost so much since this corona started. My advice is see what you can do. And I know that doesn't seem fair, but unfortunately it's just the reality of what we're going through. A lot of people have, lost their jobs. They said, wakaenda wakaanza kazi ya mjengo, natafuta hapo, nadandia. Please just do it. It's how to survive. Washing clothes, walking dogs, whatever opportunity there is. And don't be discouraged. I know some people want to start online businesses. You want to start talking to people on YouTube. You think you can make some money that way. Just do it. For lots of jobs, and maybe you still want to work in that industry and in that career, I would say network if you can. And I know networking during COVID sounds silly, but what I mean is there's so many online events everywhere, on Zoom, on Microsoft Teams, in every different industry. Many companies are just looking to talk to their customers, looking to talk to potential employees. So put yourself out there. Literally just go and Google, find out about the conversations that are happening on social media pages as well. You might just find your next job there, your next employer there who can be able to give you an opportunity. So just don't be shy. This is the time to really scream from the rooftops about yourself and your abilities, and don't be shy about it. So that would be my advice. And if you lost a job during this time, I'm really sorry. I'm really, really sorry, and I'm hoping for the best for you. Man Talk is a show on KTN Home on Wednesday morning at 9 a.m. And like I said earlier, it's a space where men come and we discuss men's issues, but more society's issues from a man's perspective. I really wanted to do this show actually before my dad passed, and then after he passed, it was like extra motivation to like pull it off. But the reason that we did Man Talk and decided to take it on was because we didn't feel that there was conversations happening on television amongst men. And it's because I think there's a bit of a gender disconnect right now. I do see myself as a feminist. I view myself as a feminist. I believe that there's a lot that we need to do to equate the genders when it comes to economics, when it comes to socials, when it comes to even health. There's a lot that needs to still be balanced between the genders, but I don't think we can do it alone as women. We are 50% on this earth, the other 50% is men, and the only way it's gonna work is if we can have conversations together and be able to see things from each other's perspective. So Man Talk is a really great show where we have a lot of fun. Just a 1-hour episode every single Wednesday at 9 a.m. We've talked about consent, we've talked about relationships, who's in control of relationships. We've discussed, are there things that women do that men hate? And it's just very cool to give men that space and to be able to host them and have that platform with them. My hope is that in the future, Man Talk can be a space where people hear conversations maybe that they haven't heard before, or a different perspective that they haven't heard before. Men can feel like there's a place where they can be open and vulnerable and still be heard. So that's my hope for Man Talk. And it's a dope show, so be sure to watch it every Wednesday morning. The other show that I do is my radio show, Adrenaline. The Adrenaline Drive Time Show with me, Sarah Carmen, and my co-host, ZJ Heno. We have an amazing time every single afternoon. For all of you people who are at home, at work, in traffic, when you got traffic at that time, trying to make it home, especially with this new curfew. It's about great, amazing reggae, one-drop music, dancehall music. That's mainly what the show is about. We just try and have incredible music, and we mainly talk about music the whole time, but we discuss other topics as well. Vibes Nation, all our fans, shout out to all the Vibes Nation fans. Very interactive, very forward-thinking people, so we interact with them a lot on socials. And our show is just about fun and also wokeness, okay? On Vibes, we like to challenge a lot of things. We talk about a lot of conversations that people might have some reservations about, like the decriminalization of cannabis, for example, is something that we talk about on our show. But a bunch of other things like education and how people are being affected, vaccination and whether people are willing to be vaccinated or not. Literally anything under the sun we discuss on our show. And we just have a really dope time, and we have great mixes, okay? Like literally the best reggae and dancehall mixes you're gonna get are on the Adrenaline Drive Time Show, okay? So that is also an audio visual. So when you go onto our website, www.vibesradio.co.ke, you can see us in studio as well. So you'll see us jamming, running around. It's different to normal radio where you can only listen to people on the frequency. You can see us as well, which is really great. And whenever we do interviews, you can see the person we're interviewing as well. So yeah, that's what I do on Adrenaline. As a millennial on the move, I would say be patient with yourself. I think millennials are very outgoing. We are the most educated and underpaid demographic, by the way, if you didn't know. So with this corona and pandemic, I know a lot of you guys are feeling stifled. You're just feeling mumewekwa down sana, but it'll end soon. And when it ends, those of us who will be on top and will be prospering is those ones who never gave up and the people that kept pushing during the pandemic or not. But do stay safe, guys. Wear your mask, social distance. We still have to be as careful as humanly possible. Yeah, and all the best.